to criminal and civil defense attorney Brian Watkins about this New York prison break. Good morning to you, Brian.
Morning.
I mean, it's about as far away from as you can get here in the United States, from San Diego to New York, but everybody's still talking about this thing, how these guys escaped, first of all, and now how they've lasted so long on the outside. Your first impression of this thing?
This is very Shawshank Redemption-like. I mean, this is right out of a movie. These guys are desperate. They're both what we call LWOP, life without the possibility of parole, so they don't have a lot to lose. And that's what makes them so dangerous.
That's what makes them dangerous. And according to New York authorities, they have now broken the record, so to speak, in the state of New York for being on the lam this long. Usually, when someone escapes from a prison, they're captured 24, 48 hours. These guys are now into day 6. Why is that?
I think this was very well thought out. I mean, this is not something that they thought of over, the night before, or the day before. This is years probably in the making. And so that they're executing their plan that they've been, thinking about for such a long period of time. I mean, both these guys, like I said, were life without the possibility of parole. They've both been down over a decade. So that's a long time to think about it and scheme and plan, and they are executing their plan thus far.
Even from a prison that's never been broken out of before. So that's pretty...
Never say never.
Never say never. Now, quite possibly they had help from the inside. They were talking to a woman that may be involved. Is it quite possible that they had help on the outside immediately following their break?
It seems to me that they have. I mean, something like this where they are gone for such a long period of time, they do need some support. I mean, bottom line is you got limited resources in prison. That's just the bottom line. And to execute a plan like that, you're going to need some outside help and outside resources that you would not have available to you just solely inside your jail cell and the thoughts in your mind and your plan and your partner that's in prison. You needed to have some support outside, I believe.
Yeah, and we were talking just earlier before we went on that most people that break out of jail don't have that sort of plan, and that's why they get caught so quickly. There's a lot of dumb criminals, dumb escapees.
They go straight to their girlfriend's house, and the cops are at their girlfriend's house before they even get there. The coffee's already warm for them, and they put the cuffs right back on them, and they send them right back.
All right. Let's talk about possible penalties for what they did. Obviously, they don't care. I mean, they'd get a few more years, but they're, like I said, they're in for long term.
Right.
So let's talk about those that might help them on the inside and on the outside. What are they facing?
Well, if you're an aider and abetter, you're just as guilty as the principal. Now, of course, what a prisoner would face is lack of parole, not being able to have a parole hearing, so you serve out your whole sentence and maybe it's an additional time. These guys are a little bit differently situated in that they're LWOP, which is life without the possibility of parole. So they don't have that parole board hearing coming up regardless. And so now their sanctions are going to be less privileges. They'll probably be doing most of their time, the rest of their time, in solitary confinement. They'll never see a TV. They'll never have visitors, phone calls and that sort of stuff for a lengthy period of time, maybe even for the rest of their life. People who aided them are just as guilty as the principals, but of course they're not going to get sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, but they're looking at significant prison time also.
Significant prison time.
And of course it goes into the extent of how you help them. Did you let them use your cell phone? That's one thing. Did you drive the getaway car, and did you reckless drive? Did you fire back at the police to help them get away? I mean, so the level of help can vary
Did you
greatly.
help them obtain power tools?
There's a good question right there,
Yeah.
Which also can be used as weapons inside there, so that's going to be more significant penalties rather than, I let somebody use his cell phone, I really didn't know he was going to escape, or maybe I overheard something, I didn't say something. Those are more, minor offenses, but, if you're driving that getaway car, that's pretty major.
And then on the flip side, you have to worry about apprehension because, like you said off the top, these guys are desperate.
What are you going to do? He's got life without the possibility of parole. You're going to give him more time? You're going to double that up? I mean, it's all just semantics at that point. So yeah, can they give him the death penalty? No, only if someone is killed and they deliberately kill someone during this prison break, then yes, they can raise to the level of the death penalty.
Which is where I was leading. An apprehension, that may very well happen. If there's a shootout, if they won't be taken alive, somebody's going to get hurt.
Well, we're hoping that doesn't happen, but yeah, these people are desperate and they don't have a lot to lose, so that makes it a dangerous situation.
In all the years of you defending, have you ever had anyone get to this extent to where they may have broken out of jail?
Oh, no. We win our cases. Our clients don't go to jail.
I set you up for that one, didn't I? Brian, thank you very much.
The truth must be told.
We appreciate you coming in.
Hey, thank you.
All right.